looking for a change up. We need to change up, looking for a change up. We need to change up, looking for a change up. We need to change up.
I get it, the lights fitted, I'm lined up, shined up, Lone Star equivalent, I'm up. A powerful choice, the voice transmitted, the band did it, can't wait till you come.
En la lucha y en todas partes, a caminar para adelante. En la lucha y en todas partes, a caminar para adelante.
Shining bright through the night, we will rise. Rising in this together, if you walk with me. We will rise. Rising in this together, if you walk with me. Running since the day that I was born. Won't you talk with me? Won't you walk?
Ishka, Dalte means from my heart because it's everything. Pidama means thank you to an individual. Wopila means thank you to a group of people. Toksha means I'll see you again. I hope.
This video like a billion times, but it gets better each watch. Hello, my name is Brittany Robinson, and I'm the co-producer for this project. And today I'll be moderating our Walk With Me Austin discussion, where we'll be talking about the making and the meaning behind the song and video. I'll begin by introducing our panel. Feel free to raise your hand when I say your name so everyone knows who you are. Dr. Collette Pierce-Burnette, president of Huston-Tillotson University. Mayor Stephen Adler. Producer Adrian Quesada. And musicians and songwriters on this project, Gina, Chavez, and Tierney Johnson, aka T-Double. So now that we've heard and seen the final music and video together for the first time, I'd love to know your initial thoughts. What was going through your mind as you watched it and listened, starting with Dr. Burnett?
I'm with you, Brittany. It makes me weepy every time I see it. And the musicality is like you just want to go with the groove. It's this kind of song that'll just stick with you the whole day. So it's a phenomenal song. And the imagery, I see a lot of that imagery on my daily commute. And it's just personal. And then to see Breonna's picture, George Floyd's picture, Angela Davis, it makes me weepy. It fills my soul. And the song has just such tremendous meaning combined with a really cool groove. It makes you want to, the first time I heard it, I was dancing around my house.
It's powerful. It's really powerful. Mayor Adler, would you like to add?
I don't have a lot I could add to that. I love the song. I mean, it is incredible, and to have so many artists on that in this moment in time, when this project started, this is so far beyond the vision. It's pretty good. Brittany, thank you. Adrian, thank you. All these artists that participated in this. I was telling you just a moment ago, don't get confused by how many people have watched this on YouTube so far, because I think that 3/4 of them are me this morning. And it's just great. So thank you. It's such an important thing to happen in this moment when everybody's being pulled so many different ways, to have something like this to be able to celebrate and to center on this issue is just great. Thanks.
So talking about how this project came together, where did the initial idea for Walk With Me Austin come from?
Well, we got contacted by the mayor in Louisville. His city had put together a piece with artists in his city, and he challenged other mayors from around the country, and it was a music challenge. So I started listening. But the more I started talking to Diane about it, and to Graham and to others, to have this opportunity to let our artists speak, frankly, to raise some money to be able to pay some artists at a time when a lot of people weren't working as they are now. And so we took that challenge and then handed it over to Adrian and to you, Brittany, and it just took off, and it's incredible.
Yeah, and Adrian, how did that idea manifest into what we just saw, like the video and the song?
Yeah, so it took a few initial discussions. When this idea first came about, if I know the timeline correctly, from when Louisville did theirs, it was more kind of in April, early April, when it was COVID was kind of a new thing still, and everybody was adjusting to life on that, and to life in that. And initially, I think the idea came from lifting people's spirits up, from having to deal with a global pandemic. But by the time we really started to have these conversations, a lot of these racist situations were rearing their ugly head in the country and in our city in particular. So I felt like, we kind of had to not only address COVID and what was happening, but really kind of look at everything else that was happening, and not gloss anything over, because these are things that are happening right here, literally down the street from us. So being able to tie all those things together in one song was just, took a few initial conversations, and then after that, I got the green light to go ahead and start the project. I mean, it was just a frenzy of hitting the ground running and hitting up people like T-Double and Gina, Chavez, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and I want to show some love, because you guys did an amazing job on this song. Like, really shout out to y'all. T-Double and Gina, you guys are both a part of the songwriting process, and the lyrics are a really important part of the song. Gina, can you tell me about how the lyrics were created and how they evolved as the world kind of changed around us?
Sure. So, first of all, I think, Adrian definitely kind of spearheaded this project, and he reached out and said, hey, we're going to write this song for Austin. And of course, it's kind of a daunting project, right? Trying to unite so many voices and speak not only to our time, just like Adrian said, but to speak to the spirit of Austin. And so we had actually just recently worked on a project together. And so I was all about working together again. And so he reached out, I think, initially to Kelsey Wilson of Wild Child and myself to start the process. And then honestly, I believe the lyrics just kind of took form almost in the studio. And so there would be additions from Sam Houston, from Megs of Magna Carda, from Mélat. And then I believe that Shakey Graves and Alex Maas of Black Angels also contributed to the lyrics. So really, is an entire swath of Austin. And, we're definitely trying to create something that we can come together, get behind, that unites us. Obviously, our world not only our city and our state, but our country and our world. We're really struggling right now. So hopefully this can bring a little positivity and the idea that we can indeed walk together, and we must, in order to really make the changes that need to be changed.
For sure. And to you, Double, what made you want to participate in a project like this, and what are some things you hope it achieves?
Well, of course, I want to be a part of any project that benefits Austin music, because I'm a long-term musician here. So as long as it keeps it on the radar and keeps people's spirits up, as far as them being creative at a time where a lot of people don't feel like they can be creative because they're not gigging, they're not making money. And this can really show the diversity of Austin music, from hip hop to rock to salsa to jazz to Latino. It had all those flavors in it, which sums up what Austin is. So I was very excited when Adrian reached out. I've known Adrian for many years. And when he reached out and said, hey, but I want to be a part of it, I was like, I'm always in the studio. I can knock it out. I can do what I need to do. And, and he was like, add some drums to it. And I did that, and it came out great. I mean, I love it. And I think it's really gonna be a boost for morale for musicians locally, to see that things are still moving, that the wheels are still being oiled, and not everybody's really just sitting around wondering what's going on. So I'm excited about it.
Mm-hmm. And speaking to those challenges, Austin is facing a lot right now. Venues are closing, musicians are out of work, increased cost of living. What is the city currently doing to support live music during the pandemic, Mayor Adler?
Well, hopefully we're going to be able to do something that I hope will be pretty dramatic and substantial and meaningful as we go back into this next council. We're trying to tee up an economic development corporation that can leverage what I hope will be a pretty significant sum. When this thing first started in the pandemic, we focused the resources that we had on individuals as we go back into rent relief, money to keep people in their homes, and food to keep people eating, direct payments. That was available to everybody, including artists and musicians. But that doesn't address the structural issue with respect to venues and the like. And that's what we're going to try and focus on now. Focus on the civic infrastructure, the things that if we lose are just gone. This is a horrible time. I mean, there are people dying from this virus. There are businesses that are going under. And the challenge that we have is beyond the scale of the city. We're leaning as hard as we can on the federal government. I don't know what they're doing with the Senate and the House arguing with each other right now, but we can't wait. And I think that the arts community really lit a fire under the council to say, we understand the importance of people, but there are institutions here that we can't lose. And I think the council is going to be responsive to that. I hope it is. We passed the first step of that 2 weeks ago. The staff's supposed to report back to us this week, so that we can start taking action next week.
Mm-hmm. What can we as a community do to help?
Lean on the city council. I mean, these things are all tough choices, and there are going to be a lot of people that are going to be coming to the council deservedly saying that they need help. And I'm going to be there next week pointing to music venues, because you have to make choices. And to me, for me, as music venues and childcare are the things that are where I'm focused. But I would suggest to the community that you recognize that these are all political kinds of decisions. There are choices, and there are no right and wrong answers. There's just how we each call the shots. And I'd urge people to reach out to the council members.
Mm-hmm. And would anyone like to add anything about what we can do as a community to help the music industry in Austin right now?
I just want to reiterate what the mayor said about engagement and accountability, holding ourselves accountable, and to be sincere about it and not get tired and frustrated and say, no, nothing's going to happen. Every voice, every vote does count. Mm-hmm. And no voice, no vote is a voice, is a vote.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And this question is for everybody. What do you hope the song achieves in our community? And I know you talked about a little bit T-Double, so I guess we'll start with you.
I think it. I hope that it achieves, more unity first of all amongst the genres of music, and more collaborations can come from that, because there's so many different types of music in Austin, but we're not really all working together unless there's projects like this and other small niche things that come across. So I hope more collaboration comes from that, more partnerships with the city as far as supporting various other genres of music, and and just get the discussions going a little bit more, like Collette said, on a more authentic level, and not just because it's political season or because it's trending or because it's the thing everybody's talking about, but a long-term sustainable conversation about these topics.
Thank you. Gina?
I would just add, kind of to both of what T-Double and Collette said is, voting, we have to vote, and that starts at the local level, and Mayor Adler says we need to contact our council members, we need to know who our council members are. And so I think this election season is really important. And obviously, I'm a queer Latinx Catholic, born and raised here in Austin, Texas, and literally yesterday just celebrated my third wedding anniversary. And marriage equality only came about in 2015, and that's a right that directly affects me, and I think this is a time when we're all ideally looking at our own privileges, looking at the things, and sometimes it's not just the things that only affect us. It's that civil rights is something that when we're all better off, we're all better off. Right. And so we have to care for our brothers and sisters. And that is exactly what this song is about. It's about saying, walk with me, Austin. We can do this together. And part of that, a huge part of that, is just using our voices, and our voices singing, from singing in the shower to singing in the streets, to going to the ballot box. We have to vote.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Mayor Steve Adler?
I don't know how you can end on a better note than vote. There are so many things that are at stake coming up here in this next election. And nothing is more important than that in this moment right now. I will say that I'm just incredibly proud of the people in this product for this. I passed through Austin back in the late 70s with no intention of staying here. And like so many other people, I got stuck here. And for the music, it was a big part of that, and it's a big part of who we are. And I think you hear that in this piece and with the people that participated. It is really impactful. And I just, again, to all you, I just want to say thank you for giving sound to this.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Dr. Burnett, what do you hope this song achieves in our community?
I want to just reemphasize the unity part. I want to take a moment just to thank the gifted artists that participated in this. I'm a lover of music, but I can no way create it. That's a gift. It's in your soul. And there's so many subliminal and direct messages. I encourage everyone to really listen to the lyrics, while you're grooving to the sound. There's so many messages about unity, and we're more alike than we are different. And that it was just brilliant the way that came out. That there's different types of music. I'm a lover of rap, and there was salsa, and there was just everything, rock, everything in one song. And that's a representation of diversity and how it feeds the soul. I like to say it fills your love tank. And the song does that. And the one image of all the raised fists was on my campus. And that the song kind of like continues that moment of a unity of Austin marching and walking together. It's extremely symbolic. So I'm greatly appreciative of everybody that was involved in it. It's a magical moment for a magical city.
Adrian?
Wow, I don't know. You set me up to fail after all that. I think just echoing what everybody said, just participation on a civic level, all the way to, obviously we have national elections coming up. But I think one of the things with this song, I think representation, and kind of touching on some of what Gina was saying, representation is a big deal. I think about when I moved here and my friends and I, when I started playing music in Austin, we didn't always see people that looked like us representing Austin music. You know, you had what it was known for, but we made that kind of our mission, 20 years ago with some friends and I, when we started a band, was to if we can create the right representation, a good cross section of what Austin looks like, hopefully we're inspiring younger people here to know that they can do it here, that they can make music here, they can create their own scenes here and not feel left out, So I think that was an important key thing for me with this song, was representation and how that would possibly inspire somebody else to see that, there's all kinds of people. We don't always all come together, but hopefully this is a step in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Well, that concludes our discussion. I would like to thank all of our panelists again for being here. I'm really so proud of what we've been able to accomplish. And I also hope that the song inspires our community to come together, push forward. Thank you again to our sponsors, Zeale, Yeti, I Live Here, I Give Here, and we're signing off.
Thank you, Brittany.
Thank you, Brittany.
Good job.
Thank y'all so much. Go jam that song.
Thanks, Dr. Burnett.
Yeah.